Good morning, or whenever you're listening to this. Oh, it is a beautiful, beautiful morning here in Pennsylvania. I hope that wherever you're listening from, it's a beautiful day as well. I love to hear these birds singing. I don't care so much for them diving at my head, which that's my perception. Maybe they're not. Oh my goodness. I got my stretch in this morning. I'm ready. I'm walking. I'm on the move. I'm coming to you with a message of motivation today. Motivation. What motivates me? What motivates you? What causes you to act or move? Oh, I got a few things I want to talk about. So, a couple personal stories. Let's see. Yesterday was Memorial Day, and we had no plans, but it was a beautiful, it started out as a beautiful morning. Kind of overcast, but still a beautiful morning. It was just a nice breeze. And so I was up and had my quiet time. And to my surprise, my 18-year-old son woke up and he was upstairs. And it wasn't that he just got up, because usually he sleeps right through his alarm clock. But he was up because he had a bloody nose. And so he was, taking care of that. I helped him a little bit. I just asked him, I said, because he said, well, I'm not going back to bed now. I said, well, you want to go for a walk with me? Or a bike ride? Want to go for a bike ride? He likes to ride bike with me. So he's like, yeah, I think if I get one of my energy drinks, I can go for a bike ride. That's all right. So, of course, I got distracted while I was waiting for him. Ended up doing some laundry and this and that, as things go. And then to my surprise, my husband was up. And he found out we were going for a bike ride. And he's like, I said, you want to go with? Yeah, all right. So, tried to get my 15-year-old daughter up. She was just dead to the world. That wasn't happening. So the three of us set out on a bike ride, and I said, well, you want to, where you want to go? You want to ride bike, in the more off-beaten roads back behind, where we live, or you guys want to ride into town? And so my son says, let's ride into town. So we started off into town, and what motivated me? What motivated me to ride bike? Well, or to even just go outside, to even just get moving. Well, I like how it feels. I like how it feels when I start to move. I can feel my blood flowing. I can feel my circulation moving. It's like you feel better. And I ignore any kind of, little aches and pains and whatnot. I told you guys before, I deal with, chest pains and things like that, but it's all muscular stuff that I just work through. But I'm not letting it stop me. So, yesterday, what motivated me to go for a bike ride? Well, I like my bike. I like to ride it. And I grew up riding bike. It was a lot of fun. Never did it for competitive as far as inner races or anything like that. I did have a 10 speed when I was a teenager, but I just rode on the roads around here. When I was younger, I just rode around the subdivision that I lived in with my friends, and oh gosh, we played all kind of, make believe, bus stop. We were the bus driver or follow the leader, which is funny because we actually did that yesterday. My husband started doing things, going different places with his bike, and my son and I were supposed to follow in his exact steps. Some of the things he was doing, though, were like, I'm not doing that. Because my bike is not, I have more of a cruiser. It's a hybrid, so it can go on different terrains, but it's not a mountain bike like he has. And so I was like, I'm not doing that. I can't make those quick turns like that. So, but my son was trying to follow him as best as he could, and that was cool. But I have to ask my son, like, what motivated you to come out with me? I'm curious. I'm to this point where I'm very curious about why we do things that we do. What's the action behind it? What's the drive? What's the cause? What causes us to do what we do? And I'm out here walking, and there's a decent amount of people out here. Some walking by themselves, some walking with a dog, some walking with another person. Yes, it's good. It's what motivates them. So we're out riding bike. We're deciding which way to go. Follow this direction, and at times my husband was deciding, at times I was deciding. And we were gone for about over an hour, just in our local area here, riding into town and around the different streets. And we both, grew up here. We know the area, even though it's changed. The landscape of it has definitely changed. We rode to some places that, there's one place we saw where he used to go for drinks after work, and it's completely looks like somebody's in the process of tearing it down. There's a tavern that I come to find out that actually used to be a greenhouse. It's actually called the Greenhouse Tavern. The sign, the writing is still there on the building, but we don't know what it's going to become, if it's just going to get raised, or what's going to happen. Paved paradise parking lot. Not that that's exactly paradise, but maybe for some people it was. So we saw that, and just different things to take notice of. And then we came to a place where there's a CCRC, which I briefly worked in, Continuing Care Retirement Community, which basically is a place when someone signs their paperwork to move in there, they deed their house to the place. They pretty much give all their money, and they're given an allowance. Pretty sure this is the way it works. And they basically don't own anything anymore. And it was interesting because we went down this one street behind where they're building, and because they're adding on to this independent living part of the property, and there's a graveyard, and I just assumed, because of where it's located, that that's the graveyard for the people that move in there, because that is really how it goes. You move in there, and that's where you're going to be until you die, because they literally have it set up like that: independent living, and then dependent living, and then skilled nursing. If you need memory care, there's a memory care unit. So it's the full gamut, which I was writing about earlier today. You can have pros and cons, really, to that. But it was just interesting as we were riding to see these different things. One thing being torn down, another being built, the purposes behind them. But motivation, what causes us to act or to think, to move in a certain way? I was getting tired on the last leg coming up our road, which was quite a bit of a hill. It's not a mountain or anything, but it's a hill. And you get enough speed going down and you can get up, you know, a certain distance, but I tried and I ended up getting off my bike and I was walking it. And my son comes up behind me and he's walking his bike. And he's like, Mom, I'm gonna push myself. Can I go in front of you? I said, yeah, go in front of me. So he gets in front of me and he just takes off on his bike. I mean, he's 18. You know, he's got never ending energy. So, good morning. So he just went and I see him just going. He didn't look back. And, you know, he's getting ready to graduate here. And, I'm trying to push him out of the nest, although I understand that's really not what the birds do. At least not the ones that we studied. But I'm trying to help him find his way, trying to guide him, trying to lead him. But I watched him just go. And just this, you know, I'm just proud of him. Just this sense of just being really proud of him came over me. And he got to the driveway and went up and, you know, parked his bike. And he didn't just go in the house, though. He came back down the driveway. He looked for Dad and I. And he sees me coming. He's like, come on, let's go. You can do it. He was just so motivating and encouraging, just calling out to me, spurring me on. I almost started crying. I was just so proud of him. And I got to the bottom of the driveway and he's like, come on, one more last push to get up this hill. You got it. Come on, you got it. Come on. He's clapping and he's, you know, spurring me on. And then he, you know, saw Dad coming behind me and did the same thing. And I was just like, yeah. Here's my son who I've been motivating and encouraging and spurring on, and here he's doing the same to me. And I was just like, thank you, Lord. This is just beautiful. You know, what's that they say? The student has become the teacher. Oh, he's got it in him. So that was just awesome. Like, what was his motivation to motivate me? You know? Some of us, it's just in us. It's just in us to motivate other people. Encourage, exhort. So it was awesome. But then something happened, which was interesting. My husband and I were invited next door to our neighbor's picnic, and we were having a little disagreement about our dog, Dixie. She's a rescue. She's a crazy girl. She doesn't fare too well with other dogs, sometimes certain people. So, you know, we've really kind of kept her guarded, kept her under wraps, I should say, just within our fence. Tried to walk her out here in the park and it just didn't go well. I know, it takes a lot more patience, but, okay, I'm at this hill where the other day I ran. I'm gonna run it again. Here we go. Stick with me. Maybe right now, whatever you're doing, pick up the pace. Are you walking? The pace. Are you sitting down? Stand up. Start marching in place. Are you laying down? it up. Start moving in some way. Okay. So, Dixie, as we're talking about her, we had our back deck door open. We have a screen door with a pet door in it, so she can come and go. And so she, we didn't know where she was. We're talking, and we're getting ready to head over to our neighbors, because my husband's like, well, we can just let her, roam in and out of the house. We'll just be right next door. And I said, I don't think that's a good idea. We're here. When we're here in the house, that's one thing, but when we are not anywhere on the property, I don't know about that. So no sooner I say that, we look outside. And coming up our driveway is our neighbor. And somebody has a dog on a leash. And we didn't realize it at first, but it was our Dixie. Like, what in the world? Okay, so our Dixie girl jumped our back fence, which is a split rail fence, and we have chicken wire. So we didn't see her do it, but they did, because they can see into our backyard. They said she literally just climbed the fence. Well, we've had her, and she's been in the backyard oodles of times. She's never climbed the fence, even when the dogs were, they have two dogs. One of them's blind, and the other one, they're both rescues, and so the one doesn't really get along too well with the other dogs. But they'll run the fence together. They'll just run the fence, and they might kind of nip a little bit at the fence, but there's nothing, alarming about their interaction. So, okay. So she jumped the fence. Okay, what was my dog's motivation? Well, let me tell you, they were having a party. They have an 8-pound pool. And Dixie, she loves the water. Our pool's not open. So, as my daughter said, she wanted to get in that water. And she saw, just people having fun. She saw the splashing. She saw what was going on, and she wanted to be a part of it. And when she jumped the fence, she didn't run up to try and harm anybody or anything like that. And the guy was able to obviously, get a hold of her without any problems. But what was her motivation? She wanted to have fun. So you think about that. Things that cause us to act, whether it be helping other people, whether it be, I want to engage in this because it's fun. And then there's those things that we're motivated to do because we kind of feel like we're forced to. Go into that 9-to-5 job in the rat race that apparently, I have no statistics, 85% of people are not happy in their current occupation. But why do they go? Well, because they have bills to pay. They got a house to pay for, or apartment, or they got a car to pay for. They got to put food in their mouths. They got to keep the lights on. Oh, far beyond that. Yeah. What motivates us? Well, there's other things that motivate us that are not really good for motivation. Reasons to act. Good morning. Such as keeping up with the Joneses. You see your neighbor's got this new whatever. Okay, so the motivation is envy, jealousy. Maybe they could afford it. Maybe you can't. Trust me, I'm speaking to myself. Been there, done that. now dealing with the consequences. So we can be motivated or in bad. It can be simple things that motivate us. For instance, when I got up this morning, looking at my wardrobe, choosing what to wear, I saw my different, things to choose from. And I have a lot of color in my wardrobe because I like color. Color just to me symbolizes life, just excitement. It motivates me. When I see colorful things, it motivates me. And I know there's some scientific thing to that as well, as far as the brain and how the brain responds. But I know it just encourages me. So I grabbed my multicolored leggings, my pink tank tops, fine and fabulous. And, I just grab that. Okay, this is a really interesting thing I'm looking at here. On the outside of our public bathroom, there's a sign for someone advertising a sushi place. That is funny. Hayabi Sushi. Okay. Interesting. When I look at my clothing, that is gray, black, it just doesn't motivate me as much. Doesn't really get me feeling happy, excited. But I put my colorful stuff on. It just brings joy to me. Where is that lady? She says, whatever sparks joy. I'm like, whatever. I didn't need you to tell me that. I've always liked colorful things. I know God likes colorful things. So what motivates you? What's going to motivate you today? How do you stay motivated? Well, I'm teaching a class to some high school homeschool students, including my own. And, one of the things about persevering, staying motivated, keeping that drive is to keep clarity, which is your purpose statement in your focus. What is the purpose of why you want to do what you want to do? Who is it that you want to help? Who is it that you want to reach? Clarity, purpose will help us to stay motivated. Others who understand and have the same clarity and the same purpose will help us to stay motivated. It's not as easy to stay motivated. I just swallowed a bug. Stay motivated by yourself. It's not as easy. Honestly, getting on here and walking and doing my little digital diary it's motivating because I'm not just walking, I'm actually walking with a purpose. But it keeps me going. I have a purpose for doing this. That's to motivate other people too. Cause you to move into action. Cause you to move into action. You just don't quite feel motivated. Get out of bed? Well, that's the hardest part, isn't it? I don't know, for me, there's something I have to do at a certain time every morning. And if I don't really care for the consequences. So I do it. So that helps, to actually have something that if you don't do it, it's not going to be the best results, I guess. It's just going to go better. Your day's going to go better if you do this thing. And that's, for me, well, it's this too. Getting out for a walk, exercising, getting my blood flowing. Getting the sunshine. 20 minutes a day of sunshine is proven medically to boost your mental state, to increase your physical well-being, to increase your emotional well-being. It's proven. Which is why I love being outside. So what do you need to be motivated for today? Or maybe you were that person at one time that was motivating others. And maybe like me, the motivation that you were trying to give to others was not received. Motivating others to help themselves or to be a help to someone, it wasn't received. That can be hard. There's a reason why you're made up the way you are. There's a reason why I'm made up the way I am. So don't let one particular situation demotivate you, discourage you. It takes courage sometimes to stay motivated. It takes courage. As I said in my other podcast, to keep going. But when we keep going, we know that's when we keep growing. But staying motivated is going to help us keep growing and to keep going. All of it works together. So I hope I motivated you today. Get out of bed. Do some stretching. Stretch your arms up to the sky, out to the sides. Do what you can do. Not what your mind tells you that you can't, but you physically can do it. When I started to pedal yesterday, my legs were already starting to feel like jello. And I had a little bit of tension in my chest. But I'm like, you know what? It's all good. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to get back on this bike. I'm going to push myself because I can. I got something coming up this weekend called Mud Girl Run. If you ever heard of it and you have a chance to participate, it's for women 7 years and up. And it's to support breast cancer. If you have a chance to participate in your area, it's an amazing development of self-growth, self-reflection, facing your weaknesses, facing the challenge, and overcoming. Even though last year I ended up hurting myself. There was this mountain of mud that I had to climb, and I didn't have the right footwear. Really, I think that's what it was.